Mm. Your abridged series will be mine. So do you watch any of the other abridged series on the internet?
I watch Dragon Ball Z abridged. I watch. There aren't that many that I watch these days that are updated frequently. I really like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure abridged by Antfish. That's a really good one.
Oh yeah, that's one that Taka was talking about.
Yeah, it's a really, really good one. I highly recommend it. I recently got into a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX abridged by Darkside Incorporated, which I also highly recommend. Right now, there aren't that many that are ongoing that I keep up with, though. I mean, a lot of the original, first set of abridged series that became, big, they've sort of stopped making them and have moved on to other things.
Well, we have a caller, and he's been in the chat. Apparently, he's nervous, but yes. So, you're on the air.
Hi. What first brought your idea to create the Yu-Gi-Oh series?
What was that? Sorry.
What first brought you to think to create the Yu-Gi-Oh abridged series? I mean, what did you just think to create it? I mean, did you just have an idea one day?
It was a combination of things. I had already made a couple of videos based on Yu-Gi-Oh that you'll struggle to find them on YouTube these days because they were kind of obscure and YouTube took them down fairly quickly because they had content from different sources. But I made a video called Meatwad Loves Yu-Gi-Oh, which was an Aqua Teen Hunger Force video that I animated frame by frame, very poorly I might add, but still, it was my first foray into actually animating stuff, and it involved Meatwad trying to explain the origins of the Millennium items and doing a bad job of it. And ironically, the cybernetic Ghost of Christmas Past from the Future showed up, which kind of ties into one of the newer episodes. But it was a fun project, and I thought, I've got the Yu-Gi-Oh DVDs, I might as well do something with them. And I'd seen various things where people made things shorter. Like, for example, like Adult Swim do that sort of thing where they take a show that exists as it does originally, and they take the characters and they skew them to the point that they aren't recognizable. But the premise and the setting of the show is still exactly the same. For example, C-Lab 2021, Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, things like that. It was just a combination of things, and I had the DVDs lying around, and I just wanted to do something with them, and I guess the abridged series was just, by default, it was my idea. I didn't expect it to go anywhere. It picked up, and it was like a snowball rolling down the hill. It just got bigger and bigger, and now nobody can stop it.
Thank you for that question, by the way. Now, you just went to Youmacon in 2009 recently. That was recent, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Unlike the other thing that wasn't recent.
Yes, unlike the other thing that wasn't recent. You went to Youmacon, and what was that like?
That was a really awesome experience. I got to meet a lot of people for the first time, like Team 4-Star and various people from That Guy with the Glasses, the Nostalgia Critic and Linkara and Angry Joe. They were all really good people, and the convention staff were so nice and so helpful, and they went out of their way for you. They would. I mean, I cannot recommend Youmacon enough. I don't know of any other convention, and I don't have that much experience with conventions, but that was a really, really fun time, and everybody seemed to be loving it. I can't wait to go back again. If they invite me back again, I will be so happy to go out there and make it 10 times as great as it was last time. I love Youmacon.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Were there any huge fangirls there at the con?
I guess there were more fangirls, ironically, at Anime Weekend Atlanta, which was a convention I wasn't actually booked to go to as a guest or anything, but there were a lot of girls there who went out of their way to meet me, and it was an interesting experience. I'm not used to getting that much attention but there were a lot of fans in general, and they were all very nice, and nobody tried to harass me or anything. But they were all. I'd heard a lot of horror stories about anime conventions and people asked to attend them, but I didn't find any of them to be true. I just had a great time. It was wonderful.
Yeah, well, don't come to Dallas because that's where I am. And you know me, I'm scary. No, I'm just...
You are kind of scary, I'm just kidding.
Oh, thanks. Well,
no problem.
Now I know to put you on more interviews. What now? Now, you've gotten much better since the beginning of starting Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. You made a comment earlier about, how the characters were not exactly the best quality. How did you, because apparently it just sort of happened at the beginning of Season 2, so how did you just make better voices?
I don't know what you're talking about. How did you make better voices?
Well, man, I always ask the confusing questions.
I think they just, I mean, if you watch a lot of cartoons, the voices in the first few episodes sound completely different to how they do when the show gets more established, like seasons 3 and 4 of a TV show. Like, a lot of the voices in early episodes of The Simpsons sound completely different. Homer sounds a completely different character. But I think it's just a case of the voice actor getting more comfortable with the roles and being able to use their own voice and give the character aspects of their own personality that they become more comfortable with. And I think that's probably what happened with Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I don't know of any of the voices except for Kaiba and Tristan that sound very much like they did originally.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because those characters have to sort of sound the way they do, and they never would have worked any other way.
One of your fans in the chat box wants to know if they can have your number.
No. You won't be able to call it anyway. I'm in England.
But there's Skype for that. What made you want to create the Naruto Abridged series?
Well, that was going to be a much bigger deal originally. That it was April Fool's was coming up, and we all. I can't remember who I proposed it to. I think it might have been Kaiser or somebody or Lanny. I can't remember. But I said we should all swap shows for April Fools. I think that would be a really fun project to do as a group. And and my initial idea was, because I always teased them, was to just swap with Naruto, and they were going to make a Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode, and I was really looking forward to seeing that. I would love for somebody else to do sort of a Yu-Gi-Oh! parody thing, but everybody else sort of didn't. I think Kaiser ended up making a Yu Hakusho abridged.
No, that's Lenny.
No.
Oh.
I mean that Kaiser did his own take on Lenny's abridged. But otherwise it was just me that on the April Fool's Day that did his own take on Naruto. And I pretended that, I stopped making Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and I was going to move on to Naruto.
Yeah, I read that post.
I made the episode, and people really enjoyed it. And I got quite a few people who were involved with Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged who had never seen Naruto, and they didn't really care for, the idea of me abridging a different show. But they watched that, and they were like, you should totally make this into its own thing. It's really funny. And I thought, you know what, no, I don't want to do that because I really liked the first episode, and I thought, if I tried doing more, I'd probably ruined it.
But later.
Yeah, I really like those characters. I really like especially the Naruto character, because I don't know where that character comes from. He's a really loud, raspy voiced chain smoker who is very happy about being a ninja.
And hates Hokages.
So he wants to be one.
Yeah. What was my question now? Yes, you mentioned to me that Kakashi will be singing most of his lines in the future. Do you have any ideas for any of the things that he is going to sing?